before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you know when we upload. Goeiedag and welcome back to Rugby Heads, brought to you by the Peak Athletic Club, where we cover all things in the world of rugby. My name is Sione, and joining me is Randwick's, hopefully he's retiring this year, but the king of Randwick, self-proclaimed king of Randwick, Dave Vare, and North's club captain, Alex Ansar. Welcome, boys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's get into the show. We're going to start off with our top performers of the week. Then we go into try, no try, and our TRC debrief and team of the week selections. And we'll finish off with the Rugby World Cup wrap and the Pacific Nations Cup. Now, let's kick things off with the positive. Alex, who was your top performer of the week?
I wasn't on last week, and I roll it over, even though I didn't get the result, is Simon Parker for the All Blacks.
Yep.
I think the last 2 weeks, they didn't get the result, but this week, obviously. But, man, he's a workhorse. He's 6'6". He's massive. I don't think he would have maybe been on anyone's top list in the back row. But, man, the way he's played, I'd be scared to see him against the Wallabies. He's big, he tackles, and he's got a bit of skill. And that little flick pass out the side, not too much finesse about it. It was a real flanker flick pass, but it did the job. And, I really rate him. I think he made about 15 from 15 tackles the last week, and I think, again, he backed it up. The All Blacks result obviously wasn't there, but I don't think it has anything to do with him. And, I think he's an awesome player, so I'm going with Simon Parker.
Good shout. Simon Parker, Peter Parker's cousin. Now, Dave, who was your standout for the week?
Simon Parker. Bit of Liam Squire about him, I reckon.
True.
Yeah. Very much.
My top performer last week, I'm going to go with the Wallabies number 9 and out Nick White. Looks like he's retiring again. Looks like he's taking a leaf out of my book, being hard to retire, but at least he's playing for the Wallabies. But I thought he played well on the weekend. His box kicks, that defensive read he made, but just his energy bunny. I don't know how old someone gets until has that much energy, and he looks like he's driving all the energy within the group. I thought he played well on the weekend, and he'll be sorely missed if he's not going to be there at the New Zealand leg of TRC. But just his effort areas on the weekend, I thought his defence, which he's not really renowned for, but he was everywhere in defence, and then in attack, just energy, good peel, box kicks, put us in some very good territory on the weekend. Obviously not the result, but I thought in the losing team, Nick White was a shining light, positive for the guys.
Yeah, good shout. You guys have shouted out 2 losers. I'm going to go for the winning team. I've gone with Jesper Visser back in the Springboks. 15 carries for 113 metres. But most importantly, I've picked him just because he's the first person I've ever seen run over the top of Samsoni Taukeaho. That big Safa dog was on. And, he was unreal. So, my shout is to Jesper Visser. Positives and negatives in this one. Try or no try, something that was play on and something offside. Alex?
Bit of a shock for me for the no try here, but the officiating in this was a shock for me to be talking about it. But the just the last 2 games, the RGs and the Wallabies particularly, just inconsistent. You know what I quite liked is that the RG's coach actually came out and said that he wasn't happy with it either. Yeah. Like the Wallabies' last try, I think we all know it was a forward pass, but just kind of over-reffing the game. And I think there's a bit of a pattern when we get the Northern Hemisphere refs and the Southern Hemisphere, they seem to want to control the breakdown too much, and it seems like the game's too fast for them. So there was no consistency around the ruck. There was a few times Mick Wright got some penalties when he was off his feet, and then didn't get them for doing the same thing. So, I mean, as a back rower, if you want to be able to, once you get that first kill for us, that's the picture you show the ref, you want the consistency during the whole game. But when it's just topsy-turvy, it was just a bit of a nightmare. So that's my big no try. I think it just felt out of his depth in that. And then even the All Blacks game, you got the best ref in the world. We're a bit biased here on the touch, as a touch judge. And he was even reffing NPC during the week, Angus Gardner. I just feel like you need these guys for these are the biggest games in the world bigger than the Six Nations. I'm sorry to say, but the All Blacks playing South Africa is the biggest game. Why do we not have the best ref? So that's my no try. But my try, afternoon test rugby. I think it's been probably said to death, but I mean, I got invited to go out, but I think I've been to 6 games. I think I needed a break and I would have exploded, especially in an afternoon game. But, man, just seeing the crowd, I think that was the Allianz record since it's open. Then everyone on the field after, all the RGs, like, going around, like, man, what an atmosphere. And even what was really good was you saw the RGs sing the national anthem, and then it's probably the loudest I've heard on TV in a long time. The Wallabies fans like, well, fuck you, we'll have a crack as well. And it was great. And even the bloke that was singing it did the big arms out, let everyone sing it. I just, like a bit of a performer, but it was just really good to see us back up what they did.
Yeah, I have pretty much had the same as you, especially the ref. We know Angus Gardner, you already mentioned him. He's one of the best refs about sort of reading the room around the ruck. Like when the ball's there and guys are trying to milk the penalty, he's like, the ball's there, play it. Whereas old mate on the weekend was just like, you could see both teams were milking it, but he'd give the penalty instead of just sort of reading the room and say, stop milking it. So that was my no try as well. But Dave, you have any different ones?
I was just going to go and try, but Ironside has actually half mentioned it, is the RG supporters.
Yeah.
They absolutely make a bloody good atmosphere on the weekend. And I don't know how they do it, but there must have been an RG supporter crew, or you could buy RG's ticket or something. Yeah. They were all in one corner, and they were cheering the entire game. And I mean, all the Australians were kind of looking there. We need to bring back something on our end, either whether it's Waltzing the Tudor or something. But the RGs had all these songs that went for the entire bloody game. But
there was more messy jerseys there than I reckon at some football games, because like. Yeah. And there was this bloke that kept coming on the TV, and he was a massive unit, and he had the football shirt and he cut the sleeves off, and he must have been at the front, but you just could tell they're having such a good time. I agree with you, Dave. It was really cool. We'll never have that, but it's great when they come out and they give us that.
But to be fair, also, I don't think I've ever seen that many Wallabies jerseys around.
I had another no try, also Samoa fumbling the bag, trying to get that last ticket to the Rugby World Cup. So now they've got to go the long way around and play Chile, who aren't that bad anymore, so they have to win that game. If not, then they got another chance. So they got at least 3 more chances, so hopefully they don't completely fumble the bag, especially when it was for World Cup qualification. So hopefully they read the room and stack it up and get through the next round. That was all the try no tries, but let's get into the TRC. All Blacks versus Springboks. Alex, your takeaways and standout players.
Just really shit game of rugby for the standard of the two sides. Without going into a scoreline, just drop ball, just a real poo slinger of a game. I think I was really last week was such a good, I thought, was kind of building for a better game, but kind of failed to deliver, in my opinion. And the high ball, I think I said it when we were talking in the group chat, but for some reason, even Australia, Australia and New Zealand are so bad under the high ball. Yeah. And then the Saffers just exploited that all game. They pumped them in the end. I don't know if the scoreline really reflected, I don't think they were that bad, the All Blacks, but I think it's a bit of a wake-up call. I think Razor's trying to pick too many different guys, it seems, and there's a fair few injuries, especially at halfback. I saw Noah Hoffman broke his arm. They got no Roy Guard. There's a few different pieces like that, but it's a lot of chopping and changing. And it's I know it's not a World Cup here, but you're the All Blacks. You should be able to have those combinations. And I just thought that I was just waiting for it to kind of open up, and it just didn't really kind of open up how I thought it would. But the Saffers, man, got to give them credit. Their scrum to start the game was, man, they had them on ice skates. And that's a pretty decent All Blacks pack that they went up to against. And, man, they're a lot, they're so much heavier as well. They're 950 kilos, and I think the Aussie pack that's on the week was 890. It's 60 kilos on what we're used to. and they just dominated it. And they're just good around the park, man. Like, their front rowers, they're big, but they still get around the park, and they're just a dominant side. And I think everyone wrote South Africa off, but I don't think the dynasty is necessarily over, because they've still got a lot of young guys coming through. And who knows, man, like, Steph du Toit, man, he just feels like he can play till he's like 50 years old. Like, you'd have to reel him out on a wheelchair to stop him playing, because he just does the consistency the whole game. So, just disappointed in the quality more than anything. But it looked wet, but the high ball was a killer for the All Blacks.
Yeah. Well, my positive was just the Springboks sort of turning around, and after getting, like, in the comment section, all their fans sort of heading at all the players and naming them, and then all of those sort of players that got named were sort of standing up. Even Money LeBlanc, he's been called out pretty much every year. He gets called out by all the Box fans, but then somehow he always comes back and shows his worth, especially this game against the All Blacks. Dave, test your mic.
Am I on?
Yeah. Your thoughts on the All Blacks Springboks?
Oh, well, I'm only humble this week because I thought we were going to get cleaned up by 50. I said 13 plus, but how wrong was I? Because I said, they've got all these new players, thinking they didn't have the depth or the transition from the older players into the younger players. And how wrong was I? Because every single one of those new players played pretty damn well on the weekend. And they just, Hindsight mentioned it, they just dominated the other forward pack. I mean, when you've got Jasper Visser just carrying the ball like he did off the first kickoff, that pretty much set the tone for the entire game. And it looks like the reverse of the following week. You know, it was close until the last sort of 20, and then they just blew the All Blacks right out of the water.
Probably mentioned, I was a bit disappointed. I thought he started well with the Philly Fussy. Man, he's massive. He's a big boy. I don't think I've paid much attention to him at all, really. But, man, he looked pretty dangerous, and he was getting in everyone's face. And I was kind of really enjoying it until he got injured. Even then, they mucked around the injury with him. But, yeah, man, I rated him. I don't know what he's done. I'm going to go guessing sports doctor syndesmosis just because that's the only thing I know for an ankle. But I really like watching him play. I think he's a bit like what we should be doing with Joe. He's a big, tall 15 at the back, dominating, and can run the ball. Yeah. So I really enjoyed watching him when he was on the ground.
Yeah, he was good. And also Damien Willemse. I thought they were going to miss Dalium Dillon there, but Damien Willemse at 12, he was gun, especially against the All Blacks centres that they've got there. And then, Grant Williams, he's so dangerous around the ruck. But yeah, it's good to see the Box sort of standing up, and feel sorry for I don't feel sorry for him because the Kiwis, but the All Blacks are just like their comment section's going off. Everyone's panicking. They've got the Eden Park again against the All Blacks. Against the Wallabies in 2 weeks. So it's panic stations over there. Alex already mentioned the scrum halves. But yeah, Dave, any standout plays?
No standout, but just a comment, I thought probably testing the All Blacks' depth at winger. They didn't have any specialist high ball wingers after Narrower went down last week. Yes, good on the Bumfer bloke to make his debut, but that was the area that the Springboks just peppered them at. Maybe I would like to see a Leicester come back into the squad or something like that. Well, not anymore that the South Africans are now off and going, but I thought they tested the All Blacks depth at wing there, or specialist high ball wingers.
I thought the bench was probably the difference. Alex mentioned that the scoreline sort of didn't show the entire how the entire game sort of went, but yeah, especially the big centre Esterhuizen. Andre Esterhuizen off the bench, he was a big body. He went across for a try as well. He was just unstoppable for the Box. If your thoughts on the games, guys, if you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you put them down in the comments. Let's get across to the Wallabies Pumas. Sold out at Allianz. Great atmosphere. I've seen Uncle Hopper's family there. The Hopperwadies were in the crowd supporting. It's great to see a lot of leagueies coming over and supporting the Wallabies once again. Alex, thoughts and standouts?
Yeah, look, I think kind of cool thing that you can see where Australian rugby is. My uncle Dave's league, he went to a lot of Lions games, but all my cousins kind of grew up in America. They realised they hadn't been to a Wallabies game, and they're like, "Oh, let's get to a Wallabies game." And like they went out and they were texting me the whole time, going, "How good's this?"
Yeah,
they're not big. To the two girls, and they're not big, sports people. They were loving it. So I mean, that's such a positive that we're such a small thing, but it's growing. And look, I think that another the glowing problem. We'll go negative before we go positive, but the high ball was such an issue for the Wallabies. It was the same thing as the All Blacks. So just putting it up, and these ones that were kind of 50-50, we weren't winning.
Yeah.
And without making excuses, it felt like every time the ball bounced, it bounced the opposite way to what we wanted. It just felt like from the get-go there was not going to be any luck. I think big Joey Suwali'i, that try he scored where, man, it just felt like he couldn't be tackled. It was like watching those videos that come off my TikTok, and there's a large Tongan or Samoan kid that just runs through, and it feels like he's walking, and he's got every kid hanging off him. It just felt like that's what he was doing. He's like a man amongst boys. I still think he's a fullback. I know we've got Tom Wright at fullback. Tom Wright's not injured at the moment. I'd be putting him at fullback, especially after the game that Hunter had.
Yeah.
That poor Hunter, man, he ran some lines that were unreal. Man, him and maybe Ikitau in the centres together and Joey Su at the back, man, I think that's a pretty deadly combination. We missed Skelton big time. I think we did, and I don't know if I would have put Lucan on or started him, and I think they need to do that for the All Blacks.
Yeah,
I think he just is I think we've realised that we need big bodies on there, and big bodies are just willing to have a go.
Yeah.
I still think Frost and Williams have their place, but that if they're given the enforcer role, it takes away from the rest of their game. But look, I think a lot of positives. That's a really good Argentinian side, and they played so real. The captain, the hooker, Montoya. I was going to say Pablo Montoya because mate, he had an unreal game. That try he scored, the charge down. He's just it's he's just got no I wouldn't say he's unskilled, but he just kind of does all the shitters. And he does them really well. He's just doesn't do anything amazing, just does everything well. And I thought he was unreal. And they're an exciting side that. They're wingers, and once they get to the outside back, they're pretty unstoppable. They just didn't get them there in the start, and then they did at the end. But look, I thought it was a good game, good quality, and just a little bit disappointed in the Wallabies. But I think it was looks like maybe more a selection thing we need to change up.
Yeah,
I thought, like Ironside said, every bounce of the ball didn't bounce the Wallabies' way, but it also felt like that's probably the Wallabies side on the weekend was in terms of experience. You can see that they definitely got frustrated by that none of the bounce of the ball was going their way. A lot of turnovers from the back line and also from the forwards, but you can see that's probably come out of frustration. They start pushing all the passes and pushing those 50-50 balls that weren't, and when they did, it wasn't helping, and it just made them even more frustrated. So you can see when James O'Connor came on, I think they consolidated, held onto the ball, and they scored some pretty good tries. I mean, those one that Kells goes through, you couldn't get a simpler try than that. He was just passing the ball hands, run square, when you get frustrated, you go away from doing the basics really well, which is probably also where I'm saying it's that experience part of it. But in saying that, I think a lot of those guys that played on the weekend will be a lot better for that experience they had on the weekend for the future.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Ironside was saying, to his point, probably see Suwali'i as a better 15, but then we all know that everything that we're doing now is leading up to 2 years' time in the World Cup. So do you go, all right, in 2 years' time, does Swally develops as a better fullback, or does he develop as a better outside centre? In 2 years' time, can Tom Wright play? There's Tom Wright find a place in the squad. So it's probably easy for us in isolation to kind of look at the game as just this Saturday, but you probably in the background they're kind of going, right, do we keep persisting on him at 13 because we know that he'll be a much better 13 in 2 years' time when the World Cup comes around rather than a fullback. So they've got all those things, but like I said, I thought there's a lot of blueprint on how they play the last couple of weeks that everyone within that squad's comfortable playing, but it's when it doesn't go their way and having the experience and patience to go back and keep knocking at the door and doing the shit is to get back into the game plan rather than being frustrated by not being able to play the way they would like and just compounding those 50-50s and like I said, it took them a space of 15 minutes to get themselves back into the game within 2 points. You know, you kind of go, why can't you do that the entire game?
Yeah.
But
I think, a lot of positive stills, I think.
Yeah.
I think that the fullback thing for me is that I've been talking about it all night tonight. I think it's just kind of clicked is, man, if you had a guy that's that big and that tall back there taking those kicks, like, no one's getting it up to the height he's going to get up in world rugby, really. Like, he's huge. And he looks so much more deadly in space and broken play than he does crashing the ball. Like, I'm not saying he's not good at crashing the ball. It's like, but why would we waste him for a crash ball when we can get him in space and broken play?
Yeah. Mate, and I also think nowadays it's going to be a bit more creative about it. You have a defend at 15 or defend on the wing to nullify all those high ball contestable, and then when you go and attack, you put them at 13.
Yeah.
Because currently the best bloke under the high ball is Jorgensen, and he I mean, you saw it in against the Lions and all that. He's not like the tallest guy. He's good under the high ball. I just feel like we just struggled really. Like, it just felt really bad. But I didn't mention him before you go, Scott, is I thought Nella, your mate Tony over there, I thought he was first 40 minutes was the most energetic I've seen him. He played himself in the game really early, and he was having a crack. He almost absolutely smoked the 10 at one point trying to charge down the ball. And I was like, kind of came out of the line, and he kind of seemed like he was back to what he used to be, which is a shame because we're losing him.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that. I think I've told him every time I've watched him play, if he's running to charge down the ball over 10, he's got energy.
Yeah, he did well. But back to Argentina, glazing Argentina. I thought their wingers, Mateo Carreras, once again, last week he was unreal, and then this week again, he's just slippery. I think he broke, I got it down here, 9 tackle busts. He was just slipping through. But Argentina, I don't know who they've got. They've got the Saffers. So good luck to them. But now our focus goes towards the Eden Park Hoodoo, Wallabies, and New Zealand. We'll go over it more next week, but initial thoughts on selections. It sounds like James O'Connor's on his way to England because round 1 starts for the Prem in 2 weeks, and that's when the Wallabies and All Blacks game is. Who are we going with? Like, Tane had some good moments there, like that 50-22, that was a key one. Just too bad the set piece couldn't sort of get the most out of that one. We turned it over straight away, but but I feel like it was more the forwards, and then all the penalties sort of started coming in at the ruck, and then he didn't really get a chance to sort of show what he can do running with the ball as well. Your thoughts on 10? Would you Linus should be back as well? Are you putting Linus straight in, or?
I think I would just based off last week. I think you have to put Liner in. I think that he's played well enough at 10 to probably earn the right to come back. That's not to say you wouldn't have Tane on the bench and bring him on with 30 to go or something, because he actually is probably more suited to that Kiwi style of footy anyway. Like, you see it in the NPC. Yeah. I think he's kind of suited to that style of rugby. So I think you'd have to have both of them in. And I think Tane actually gives you a bit of more than Liner off the bench. Tane can probably slot into to a 12
Yeah,
role,
true.
probably even to a fullback role, maybe a bit of versatility. Because, I mean, they're not going to, I don't think they'll do it, but I think you've got to go a 6-2 split at Eden Park. I think it's going to be a battle, like a war of attrition. So, Kane on the bench, we give you that.
Oh, he's definitely. Well, you can see that Joe Schmidt's definitely thinking that he wants Lionel to be his 10 going into the World Cup, because every time he picked him as his first 10 in the Lions series, and then every time he's been injured, he's come straight back into it. So he's definitely investing in him. The only thing is obviously, as we've seen, very injury prone. Whether that plays into making sure that everyone develops the same level as he does. I'm not sure what Dono and his injury and how far off he is.
Right.
But there's another 10 option there for them, and obviously bigger boot can keep them some good territory there. But I think I completely agree with Alex there that Kane probably gives you a lot more versatility off the bench. He's just not a 10. He can also play 12. But I think James O'Connor's just gone to over to England because it's closer to New Zealand, so he can pop over.
All right, last question before we get into Team of the Week selections. Sonny Bill has already come out and said that Wallabies need to be wary of the battered All Blacks, and he thinks that it's going to probably be a pretty decent win for the All Blacks, a big one, since everyone's on their backs, and it's going to be another Eden Park from the other week when they played South Africa. Your initial thoughts, we'll go into it more next week, but Alex, your initial thoughts on who's going to win next in 2 weeks?
Luckily, I've decided to go to visit my New Zealand family that particular weekend, and I won't be going to the game, but I will be sitting around a whole bunch of All Black supporters who are all my family members and my uncle's mates for his 60th. So,
who do you support?
Wallabies, man. I'm born here. I'm a Wallaby, man. Come on.
Just checking.
Just wanted to add that as why there's more stake skin in the game for some of us. I said it in the group chat the other night, I'm like, man, I'm fucking spewing that they got pumped by the Sappers, because there's not very many times. I don't know any stats, but I would probably hang my hat on that. There's not many times the All Blacks get pumped twice in a row or beaten twice in a row. So I am nervous. However, I just think that there's a lot of momentum with Australia at the moment, and they seem to surprise teams. I think if they can get the first 20 minutes there, which they didn't have against Argentina, and they didn't have against South Africa the first game, and they didn't have against the Lions in the first game.
Yeah.
But their first 20 minutes when they're on can turn a game. That game at Melbourne, even though they lost it, the first 20 minutes, first half was unreal. And I think that will be enough to put New Zealand away. And I think we've got the depth more than normal on the bench with the forwards, and that's why I reckon they've got to go with six forwards on the bench and try and bomb squad the All Blacks, because you saw on the weekend that once the reserves came on, the All Blacks dropped off. And I don't think our reserves are that far off the All Blacks reserves, actually.
Oh, let's go. Dave, you agreeing with that one, mate?
Look, I completely agree that an All Blacks team that's just lost a week before is a very dangerous All Blacks team whenever they play the next game. But like Ironside said, I think throughout the TRC and together with the Wallabies' momentum and confidence, they can definitely see that the All Blacks are beatable, and they'll take a lot of confidence out of that. And they go in there, the same as how they went into South Africa that week. So you can see there's a lot of patches from Lions, South Africa. If they can try and put that together against the All Blacks at Eden Park, no one said that they'll ever do it in Ellis Park, and they did it. So there's no reason why they can't do it in Park. So maybe a year of history for the Wallabies. I definitely think that the Wallabies, if they play to their true potential, can upset the All Blacks in different areas of their game. And like you said, they're very on par in terms of man for man, and there's no reason why they don't think the Wallabies can't think they can't beat them. So
that's
it'll be a good game, I think.
Yeah. All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who you think will win that game in Eden Park in 2 weeks. Now let's get to our team of the week, where we select our favourite players in each position. Now let's kick things off with a loose head. I had the same name we had last week. Angus Bell off the bench, 10 tackles, 8 carries, 5 defenders beaten, and a naughty line break. I thought he was good. Who do you guys have?
I had Ox.
Oh, yeah. You know what you're going to get with the Ox.
I think he was pretty good around the park as well, not just his scrummaging, but made a few decent carries. I'll have to go with Ox this week.
Dave?
I'll go with Sion. I thought Bell off the bench just did a bit more than scrummaging. Yes, he was good around the park, Ox, but I'll go Angus Bell.
Dave's we've outvoted Alex here, so we're going to lock in Angus Bell. Sorry, Ox, you won the game, but you did not win Team of the Week selections. All right, at hooker, number 2, I've had the Argentinian captain, Julian Montoya. 1 try, 13 tackles, and a naughty turnover win. Everyone agree, or?
Yeah.
Can't argue.
And a naughty shut up, cunt.
Lock in Julian Montoya. I think. All right, and another RG at number 3. I had Joel Scalvi, 6 tackles, and also a turnover win at the ruck. Anyone else have anyone different?
No, that's what I had.
We'll go with you, Tony.
Oh, there was a long pause there from Dave. He wanted to put his best friend in there. But yeah, that nice loyalty shown from Dave. But we'll lock in Joel Scalvi. In the locks, I had Aussie Jeremy Williams, 15 tackles, 2 turnover wins, 6 line-out wins, and 1 steal. And the Safa Ruanokia, 3 wins in the line-out and 1 naughty steal, and 9 tackles.
And Ruanokia for South Africa.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Lock both ends, or you want to switch Jeremy Williams out, Dave? Were you saying?
No, the South African one.
There's 2 locks in rugby, Dave, so we'll lock in both of these. Well, thanks to your favourite, is Ruanokia, but we'll lock in Jeremy Williams.
I used to only throw to the halfback of the 10. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of the opposition, but we'll lock in Jeremy Williams and Ruanokia. Let us know yours in the comments. Who we should have gone in the lock positions. At number 6, blindside flanker. He didn't do what he normally does, breaking the lines or breaking tackles, but it's his work rate that sort of stood out here for the Wallabies. Rob Valentini, 6 tackles, no misses. Oh, not 6 tackles, 16 tackles, no misses, 13 hit-ups. I just went for the work rate. Different sort of game from Bobby, but doing all the shitters. Anyone else have someone else in the 6?
Yeah, I'll go back my man, Simon Parker. I thought that first half he was pretty dominant. And then even that flick pass, I think it's all like your second game second game as an All Black to try that. You want guys playing with confidence like that, and look, I think Bobby had a great game. And that's my vote.
Dave, final vote.
Yep, I'm going to go with Ironside's man Simon Parker. I think Bobby would agree with us as well. He can play a lot better than just work rate. So in terms of impact on the actual game, I think Simon Parker did a pretty good job.
All right, nice. We'll lock in Simon Parker. At number 7, just kept the same guy there. Artie Saver, 2 turnover wins, 9 carries, and a naughty line break. Fraser had some good games, a few steals at the rucks as well. Or Peter Steph Dutoy, he was strong.
Man, I thought Marcus Kramer on the weekend was an absolute animal.
Oh, yeah. Or you could have had him. Yeah, he was a big body.
I think I'm going to go with Dave on that. Was a good point. Even thinking about that.
Yeah.
Artie gets in every week. He can have a week.
All right.
We'll rest him.
We
don't want to get him too tired.
Yeah, you could tell Kremer was ready from that, and the way he was singing the anthem and finish it off, just sort of fist pumping. So we'll give it to Marcus Kremer. All right, at number 8, I've already named him as my favourite player of the week.
We'll give it to you, man.
Jesper Visser, 15 carries, 413 metres, 1 turnover win. and running over the top of
Sorry.
Samisoni.
Couldn't agree more.
Can we just ask why did the All Blacks see that Jasper Visser was carrying off to kick off like he did and kept kicking there?
Hey, mate.
Do what Queensland does, kick the other way.
Lock in Jasper Visser. At number 9, I had Grant Williams. I know Dave mentioned Nick White, but I've gone with the Safa. Number 9, dangerous around the park. You guys have anyone else?
I'll go with you.
I kind of liked. I'll agree with that. I actually thought Corbus Reinach, is that you say it, Reinach?
Oh, yeah, Reinach.
Yep.
Reinach. I actually thought, mate, he got KO'd. I don't know how he got let back on. I don't know if you saw him. He got smacked in the head. I don't think Grant was better. I just wanted to give him like a honourable mention. He actually, mate, he was tough having a crack. Don't know if his skills were up to Grant Williams, but he was unreal at the start. So
yeah. Mate, they got so many good 9s. They've still got that young, he's not so young, but Morne Vandenberg, or whatever his name is, didn't even get a chance in TRC so far, and he was their best player in the lead-up game. So, but we'll lock in Grant Williams. And at number 10, I had to shout out the RG's number 10, Santiago Carreras. He was just dangerous leading him around the park. His opportunity since Albinos has been injured, and they didn't really lose much with Albinos gone.
And great name.
Yeah.
Might I add. Just a good, feels like he should be scoring 3 goals for Real Madrid, but instead he's just kicking goals from all around the park. Love it.
Santi. And on the wings, I had Santi's brother, Mateo Carreras, 11 carries, 9 defenders beaten, slippery little RG. And then on the other wing, I could have had Filippo Dagunu's little cameo, but with his 2 tries, 4 carries, 2 line breaks. But Cheston Colby, 2 tries, 119 metres gained, 3 line breaks, and 23 nightmares handed out to the All Blacks. So you guys have anyone else on the wing?
No, I think Colby was back to his best. I haven't seen him play that well. I don't know if he had a slump. You can't really say a slump, but yeah, he looked at his very best on the weekend.
Yeah. Lock in.
That step that he put on to score that try. Oh, God.
Mate. That was payback for last week when he got stepped. Or he fell for the dummy. Nutter was dummy. So we'll lock in Justin Colby and Mateo Carreras. At number 12, I had the Safa. Number 12, Damien Willemse. 14 carries, 1 try, 6 defenders beaten for 2 line breaks. Or my second was Hunter Paisami. 10 carries, 6 defenders beaten, 2 line breaks, and 12 tackles at 100%.
Yeah. No, we can have Hunter in the honourable mention. I thought.
I think so. But I would say that Hunter was unreal. I think if they won, that would have gone.
Yeah, true.
Well, I don't think we can have him for that.
And has Willemse played 12 before? I don't think I've seen him play 12.
Who? Oh, Willemse. No, maybe off the bench as a fill-in, but no, he's normally 15 or he started off as a 10, then shift to 15.
Yeah. He looked pretty good at 12.
Yeah. Now, at 13, I got 2 names here, and they're both from the Aussie RG's game. Suali'i, 1 try, 9 carries, 2 line breaks, or Sinti, just defensive, 17 tackles and no misses. Your thoughts? Or could have had, was it Cannon Moody in the Safa game or Proctor?
I think Joey scored a try, but I don't know if he was the best 13 of the weekend for me. I think, what's the RG's guy?
Luciano Sinti.
Yeah, Sinti. I think Sinti was a little bit more dominant in the game for 80 minutes.
Yeah,
I
true.
think Joey had some moments, but I just don't think. I don't know. He just looked a little bit lost on the weekend more than normal. I think it was because it was a weird game, but his impact didn't outweigh. He wasn't great in defence, I thought.
Yeah. Dave?
No, I'm give it a Sinti. Yeah.
All right. So we'll lock in Luciano Sinti from Argentina. And at fullback, I don't know if I'm biased here, but I really enjoyed Andrew Callaway's game, especially that try when he went through untouched. But he did go through the line twice and set up 2 tries as well as scoring 1 himself. Not Geordie Barrett. Will Jordan also sniped through for 2 line breaks, but sort of they didn't capitalise on those 2 line breaks, errors after those line breaks. And Fussy went off pretty early. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Callaway definitely. I think that wasn't Will Jordan wasn't Will Jordan on the weekend.
Yeah.
It felt like he was just not timing his jumps, and he's way better than that. So we're not going to pick him this week because we want to give him room to improve. Not against the Wallabies, but the next person he plays.
All right, so we'll look in Cal's at 15, and that was our TRC Team of the Week. Let us know how we did in the comments. Now, Rugby World Cup wrap-up over in England. The quarterfinals saw the Black Ferns race away in the second half over the Bok women after being locked up at 10-all at halftime. Braxton Sorensen McGee stood out wide. Cooper Olsen-Baker was tough through the middle, and Renee Holmes outstanding out the back. Wallaroos campaign comes to an end at the hand of the Canadians. Canada didn't really let the Aussies in, controlling the momentum both in the forwards and the back line. Canada proved that integrating your sevens, how to integrate your sevens plays into the 15s program, which the Wallaroos sort of failed to do. And in the other games, France were tested by the Irish but came over on top, and English just another day pushed past the Scots to set up semi-finals this weekend. Black Ferns and Canada, guys who were going to back in this one. Early in the year, it was a draw at Christchurch. Last year, Canada famously dismantled the Black Ferns in Christchurch. So who we think is going to get this one?
I'm going
Yes, for the Southern Hemisphere, we'll go with the Black.
We're going Black Ferns.
Black Ferns.
Yep.
So we'll lock in the Black Ferns here. Both these games should be tight, except for I'm not too sure about the England game. These seem a bit untouchable at the moment. So we'll lock in the Black Ferns and England, France. Any upsets here, or just another day? You guys reckon?
I actually watched the mini of the French.
I'd like to say just another day out for England until I get proven wrong.
But I want to back the French. I want to go Vive la France. I want to upset here. I'd love to see the French win. Just the English. Something about the English when they're number one or they're cocky, it just seems to be in every sport, and they're kind of riding a little bit too high for my liking. I'm backing the French.
Yeah, I'm backing the French in this game, but I also want to see Black Ferns and England final. So, I don't know who will lock in here, but make sure you bet responsibly. That's our Rugby World Cup wrap-up for the week. We'll go over the semi-finals next week, leading into the final the following week. Now, the biggest tournament in the world, the Pacific Nations Cup, over in America. Tonga got dolfaleed by Japan. Japan put 60 points on him. Fiji put about 70 points on Canada. And Samoa fumbled the bag in their Rugby World Cup qualification game against USA for that last spot. I don't know if we need to go over this because it's all going to probably be a bit negative. Some of the Samoa players are probably already pissed off at some of our, as in my memes over the weekend on the pack page. But I
did I watched a couple of those games, and it's disappointing that it's not. I think we need to go to deeper thing, but there should be international windows, like in they do that in the Premier League, where there's like 2 weeks off and there's international windows, and they can play 2 games, and maybe that Pacific tournament's played over the 6-month period, and you go play 2 games against Fiji, and then you play 2 games against Japan, and then it kind of comes to a head. Because Fiji's just night and day. I mean, in that region now, like they're starting to pull ahead, and I worry what's going to happen. Because you look at around the world, how many good Tongan Samoan players there are. It's great that Ben Tameifuna still plays, but just feels like the only guy out there at times. And with Japan having so much more money, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know if they need to do it like the whole competition's played in Japan or something like that, so that these guys have got like the training facilities and everything there, just, some of the best top notch, send everyone there to play the whole tournament there, or America or kind of share it between that. Because it just kind of seems like a bit of a hodgepodge kind of thrown against competition. It's a great idea. Yeah. But it's just not working at the moment.
Yeah. Especially,
I wonder if that means Fiji should then Fiji, the way it's going, should be the 5th team in the Southern Hemisphere comp. Maybe we have a 6 Nations down here.
Yeah, true. And it's not even the strongest Fijian team. Like a lot of their players are over in France, starting the season already last week. And it's just Tonga and Samoa, like, especially for us supporters, sort of losing interest because our team in rugby league is going pretty strong. And then you go over to Union and all the top players, all the Moana Pacifica players aren't playing in this team other than probably one or two. All of them are playing NPC, all of them are in France. So it sort of doesn't feel like our actual national team. And you sort of feel sorry for guys like Ben Tamefuna and all those sort of guys that are giving up their time with their club that pays them all this money to play, and they're playing, respectfully. But some players are
how awesome is it that he does that?
Yeah,
I think that he's going to go down. I think he'd be one of the best Tongan players of all time. I think just what he's done in all different competitions, to do what he does, and just. Even when he's things like seeing him still train at the Chiefs when he's back in New Zealand, and he's obviously such a well-loved bloke. He's one of my favourite follows, and we've heard a lot of good stories about him from different blokes that have played with him, and he's the greatest goal kicker of all time, allegedly. But that's one positive you've got to take out of it. A guy like that probably taking money out of his own pocket to go play there, and you've heard stories of how he's helped players and. I mean, it's kind of sad that he has to do that in a way, but it's awesome that he is, and it's just a shame that they're getting left behind, Tonga and Samoa, and I mean, growing up, man, you'd be scared like the Wallabies and even the All Blacks, but now it's just they've pulled away. The difference is massive.
Yeah.
We'll probably like you'd see, the blueprint's probably there with how they're doing the draw. I mean, that if you want to improve teams in the Pacific, you need a program like the draw does, and you can see it reflected in their
we've got Moana though. We've got Moana, but the players aren't coming to the international stage. They're sort of going to NPC rather than playing for Tonga Samoa.
Yeah, and look, like you said, I mean, it's not. Unless you're on a paycheck like someone like Big Ben and stuff that can afford to do it. Like you said, going to play for these guys, it's mostly if it's something you can afford to do. Whereas if you're in the Fijian draw program, you can probably not losing as much because it just feels like you're just continuing on with the draw program.
Yeah.
But I do understand the guys that don't make themselves available for it. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to put food on the table. But I think it's more a world rugby sort of thing to see, okay, we've done something there in Fiji, they've gone better. Yes, we've got the Moana Pacifica there as a system for probably Samoa and Tonga, but you can see that probably isn't quite the model to work because you're kind of sharing it between two countries. But you can make the argument and say, how do we get a Fijian draw for Tonga and Samoa's respectively, as it could be something 5 years down the track, though.
You got to kind of look at what Fiji's done because Fiji's probably been one of the better teams in that area, but it used to be so much closer. That you didn't a Fiji, Tonga, Samoa would be if you had them play against each other, it would be a lot closer. Where now it's just like Fiji's gone, and it's like that needs to be looked at. As a thing and what's helped that.
Yeah, and also because the Moana is not necessarily a development for Tonga and Samoa. It's a development for fringe players in New Zealand. Yeah. Whereas if you look at the draw, you're developing local talent there. So if you want to have that, I mean, the only ever way that these Pacific nations become really competitive is you develop their grassroots for them to be able to have enough there to be competitive, and then all your top tier players can come and assist in some way, not having probably a big chunk of your players trying to make fringe teams in New Zealand.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure in about 10 years, everyone will still be talking about why Tonga and Samoa's shit. But yeah, let us know in the comments your thoughts on how to fix the Pacific. Now, in the pod, shout-outs. Alex, who's your shout-out for the week?
It's got to be a bit sacrilegious, but shout-out to good mate of mine and former Tongan international Johnny Fanua, a bloke that played in the good old days of Tonga. He's got his NS Silverbacks. They've sometimes been known to play against the Pac teams, but he's going on tour again, and he's talking a big game about getting some tournaments over here organised that Pac may play in against the Silverbacks and all that. And I think he's just trying to develop the game, and had a good chat with him on the phone the other day, and he's trying to get me out of retirement to go play tens in Malaysia. And I'm very tempted to go play over there, but he's he's going to Singapore, Malaysia. And I think just keep an eye out for all those little invitational teams. If it's not Pac, if there's an opportunity for your mates to go play sevens or tens, I think that's a great way that we can grow the game back in Australia. Because pre-COVID, there was lots of these bigger tournaments, Byron and all that, and they've probably dropped off a bit. But yeah, just get around those teams. It's a good opportunity as a young bloke to go play. Played with Connor Vest and that, and he went on to bigger, greater things. And I went on to continue digging holes. But might work out for you.
Yeah, shout out to Touring Rugby. Dave, shout outs?
My shout out this week's going to be selfish, this one. I'm going to shout out my boyfriend who gave me the promotion of boyfriend's fiance this week. My big man, Taniela, Crouch Touch Paul's engaged, dropped a knee on Friday morning. Had to kick me out of my bed Thursday night because he was that nervous, and I was doing commando through the bushes trying to get Rich, the cameraman, to take some photos. But mate,
was that you?
It's beautiful to see love. No, mate, I couldn't work a camera. You know me. It's beautiful to see love. Hope I find it one day. Looks really nice. But shout out to my boy, big Taniela. Hopefully he can leave me alone and I can find love here in Sydney. But yeah, love's beautiful. Shout out to big man. Congrats.
Yeah, nice. My shout outs to all the expat Aussies playing over in France. We're going to try and get out to a few of the games during this season, myself and Johnny, and follow some of the expat Aussies around in the little leagues over in Europe, in Spain, Portugal, even here in the Netherlands too. So if you're out and about in Europe or the UK, let us know. Even if it's like a Nat 10 club in England, let us know. We'll come for a weekend and have a few beers and get around us. So shout out to everyone listening. All pretty much 100% South Africans now. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.